Now, in terms of how Kamma works over time, it's an interesting subject because some people assume that Kamma only operates in this one present lifetime, or strictly speaking only in a present moment. But the Buddha made it clear that Kamma, or our actions, bear fruit, bring a particular effect, either right here and now, in this moment while we are acting, we are at the same time receiving the results, or sometime later in this life, or in some future existence. The effect can thus be delayed, and the Buddha doesn't say which particular actions bear results when. That's something which is so hard to understand. The subject is such a complex one that the Buddha actually warns people of trying to figure it out conceptually, intellectually. He says, Kamma vipaka nachinte tabbo. One should not speculate about the fruition of Kamma, the results of Kamma, of our actions, because it's such a complex subject that if somebody was trying to figure it out on that level, it would just be beyond the scope of their intellectual abilities, and they might even go mad. So one should refrain from trying to figure out this exact one-to-one correspondence. When I do this, it's going to bring such and such a result in the future. Unfortunately, that's how many people tend to think about Kamma, but this way of conceiving Kamma and result of Kamma is not really based on the early Buddhist teachings of the Buddha himself. Rather, this popular way of presenting Kamma and vipaka is based on a later type of Buddhist literature, the so-called Avadana or Apadana books, which were written and edited later, or even the Jataka stories, which all describe the lives of the Bodhisattva or some other well-known monks and nuns and various people who were supposed to make a certain either good or bad deed in the past, a skillful or unskillful action in the past, like offering some food to a Buddha, or presenting a flower to him, or doing something unskillful like laughing at somebody's misfortune. And then, according to these stories and fables, they were supposed to receive the appropriate karmic result of that particular action in some future existence. And I think the moral of all these stories is, when you do good, you receive good; when you do bad, you receive bad. But unfortunately, the way it's presented, it's very, I would say, oversimplified. It's a kind of childish way of talking about Kamma. Maybe it's useful for children to understand, you shouldn't do bad things and you should do good things. But to seriously assume that this is how the law of Kamma works is, I think, going a little bit too far, because the Buddha made it clear that one shouldn't think in those terms, that it's very, very complex. It's a very complex system, in the way in which our actions bring their results in the future. And the Buddha further specified the way our actions generate future states of becoming and existence, and future rebirth as well. He said the actions that we are performing now, they are creating a kind of field. Ketta means field of action. It's preparing a field in which our further existence is going to take place. So actions having been performed and the field being there, then there is consciousness or vijnana, which is like a seed that is planted in that particular field. And according to the ethical quality of our actions, that seed will be planted either in the realm of the sense world of sensual pleasure, the Kamma loka, or a higher, more refined world of pure form, the Rupa loka, or an even higher, more refined, very refined Arupa loka, or formless realm. So field being there, the seed, namely consciousness, being planted, then there has to be also a third factor, namely craving, which the Buddha compared to moisture, which is like water. And the water, when it's being poured on this seed, which is planted in the fertile soil in this field, it can grow, it can sprout and grow into a new birth, a new state of becoming, a new state of existence. And this is how this law of Kamma operates.